Alrighty. Here we are again, episode 3.
Hello.
Missing one of our comrades, though. Tolu is out and about.
Tolu is gone and I am in the engineer chair.
How does it feel to be commander-in-chief?
Honestly, I feel like I could definitely just take this job over from Tolu. It's
Yeah,
so
we don't
easy
need him.
now that he's set everything up.
Screw him.
He's been cut.
Mm-hmm.
You miss one of the first 10 episodes, you're gone.
Yeah, you gotta trim the fat, you know? There's no time for personal things.
Absolutely not. This is a full-time hobby,
Mm-hmm.
if that's a thing.
I feel like it isn't.
I don't know. Do you see? Well, I mean,
Name one full-time hobby right now.
those people that build those motorized airplanes.
Aren't all there? Oh, I guess they aren't, are they?
Those like toy ones, like those model ones.
Oh, the model airplane.
That's a full-time hobby.
Yeah, that's a...
Or trains.
Or boxcar racers.
Aren't there
Train
the
sets.
little, like, you can buy them for like $800, the little figurines, and you build those?
Yeah, but not those guys. Like those guys, like they like craft and engineer their own for like competitions.
Mm.
So
So speaking of
speaking
hobbies,
of our topics and hobbies, why don't we just fall right into our first question, or I guess topic, not question. Well, it's kind of a question. Finding a balance between work and play. Should work be play?
should play be work?
Should play be work?
Conversely.
Converse? Contrapositive?
That's some big words there.
I don't know. I think
Prove it.
I'm gonna go out and say
Okay.
that, because I have quite a strong opinion on this, that people, I don't want to say our generation, but I'll say our age, because it's indicative of most generations.
All
People
right.
our age focus too much on the play aspect and not enough on like getting ahead
Oh,
and the
interesting.
work. That's
Okay.
what I think. People are too busy, going to these music festivals and going to the bar, and they want to go listen to this DJ and that DJ, and this. It's not house, trap, trance. It's all techno. First off, let's just get that out of the way. And I know I probably upset a bunch of EDM pill popping listening sissies out there, but
That hurts.
as my good friend on the internet said, Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola glass, I don't give a damn.
Drop the mic. Little mic,
Mic drop.
All right, so then my question is that a bad thing? Because do we have to work as hard now that we've got like phones and the internet and all of that sort of stuff?
I just feel like people don't do enough to get ahead and like set themselves up for later in life. I guess
Okay.
that's a better way of putting it.
All right, well, but there's the argument that people have to work harder now to get ahead than they ever had to before. I don't know if that's true, but
I guess like it's their population, and
Moore's law. You gotta worry about everything around you.
speeding up.
Yeah. Like technology wise.
Mm-hmm.
There's just more stuff to know. Like people come in.
I would say there's more competition.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because back then everybody works on a farm, and like if you just finish high school,
Mm-hmm.
you're done. You're done for your life, right? You
I
got
don't
your
think
job.
there was high school. Like, how far back are you talking about?
Anywhere from the I don't know. I don't know
The
history. I've never taken
1900s?
a. Let's say like 1850. That seems like a safe year to pick.
Yeah, okay.
They
sure.
might have had like a wee bit of schooling. I don't know. I don't
Not
think
much.
They're just the blue collar farmers.
I guess you would only be competing with half now, because men would only compete with men for male, like there was male jobs and female jobs,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
or females didn't have jobs whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Their
So
job
I
is in the
guess
kitchen.
just because that male and female people can do the same job now, there's like that much more competition.
And
I
like
guess.
everybody can go to school, so you gotta push it one step further, right? Like school
Yeah, that's
isn't
true.
enough anymore.
That's true. Like so many people, or I should say employers, look for like all that extracurricular aspects of someone's resume or whatever that makes them like stand out.
Yeah, you need your work experience, your volunteering, your leadership,
Yeah.
and your school. and like your hobbies should probably be pretty constructive if you want like the best chances of getting something, right?
That's true. But also, like, then you look at, should work be play? It's like, do you want to? I think we're drawing a very decisive line in the sand. Too much between those two terms. Because if you think about, well, even this podcast that we're doing, like, this is technically under play at first, but it could be work.
It could be work.
It could be lucrative.
Fingers
and-
crossed, you know.
And it's something that you could put on your resume.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
All right. After how many episodes do you put this on a resume? That's the question.
Is it episodes or is it if it?
Success.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
it,
I guess
like,
anybody can be screaming into a mic in a basement.
I don't want to preach about my unsuccessful podcast.
That's
that
true.
No one cares about.
I mean, you could plug it to your recruiter though. Any HR people listening?
I would anyway. Like, I feel like there's a certain amount of success where it's like, put it on there, and then there's a certain amount of like time put into it that you should just plug it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like just seeing how it's been going so far, I would put it on my resume. There's no harm.
That's true. I feel like 100 episodes or 5,000 viewers, whichever comes first.
100 episodes, eh?
Hey, I'm ambitious.
It's a hundy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why. Well, not saying that 100 episodes isn't reachable. I'm just thinking, like, do I want to
Well,
wait
that's-
that long to put it on?
That's 2 years.
I would have rather had it where we never had any of them put on yet, and we just had them all like piling up, and we got better and better, and then
like
finally
episode
we
12.
knew it. No,
that's
like episode
one?
101, and we're
Oh,
like,
man.
oh, we got this.
Well,
We
think
got this
about
on
it, though.
lockdown.
Perfectionist.
We start a new label. We're good.
Okay, well, what about this? We get to episode 100. We're way better at this than we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new podcast. Scrap this one and just
Next
aim
gen.
for the top, you know? The
Well,
startups version 2.
what if we don't necessarily, because you can't just leave your brand. You've built up subscribers, a listener base. What if we just plug the first 100 or whatever we feel like
Yeah.
as season 1? I feel like that's a better way of going
Okay.
about it, instead of
Season 1.
completely, scrapping and have to restart.
Or is it the epilogue, or is it the prologue?
Prologue.
Prologue's
prologue?
a programming
Ooh, I
language,
wouldn't-
isn't it?
No, like
Isn't an
the
epilogue
prologue to
bef-
something is like
Mm-hmm.
a frontal like intro kind of thing.
Prequel?
Prequel,
Yeah,
perhaps?
prequel, like The Hobbit. you
Maybe
know?
instead of naming it season 1, we name the first like 20 episodes the prologue or something like
The
that.
prologue.
But it'd have to be like, it would have to have a definitive, something about the podcast would have to have a definitive like different feel.
Yeah.
Like either structure or something like that. Like something would have to be very different.
All right, first 20 episodes, we have Tolu on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Fire them, bring in somebody new, you know?
Yeah, put down
Episode
the-
2.
put down
Or season 2.
But yeah, I feel like work should be play. I feel like as long as you're getting work done, you can do it however you want.
That's true. I just feel like I'm gonna do well. Hopefully, I will do jobs that I enjoy, so they won't really like the lines will be blurred. Hopefully, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
it doesn't like it may not be play, but it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing. Is it shouldn't feel like.
What if you're getting paid highly because your job involves a lot of stress, but you get paid a lot for it? Would you still?
Well, it wouldn't be play then.
But it would be work that.
But work isn't. It's not like we're saying play is
Work is
bad
play.
and work is bad. We're just saying where should the balance be?
Well, it would be very unbalanced
Yes.
compared to your scenario.
Because usually those jobs that you're referring to are like long hours and stuff and like a lot of days.
long hours, management probably, or like projects.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really stressful. Getting
Eh.
projects done on time.
But I guess how much money are we getting out of this?
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting 6 figures, why not?
Why not?
But then what if, because I know or have known a few people that are in not necessarily that like extensive of a wage, like 6 figures, but they're getting paid a lot for where they are in their life.
Yeah.
But they have zero time to enjoy any of that financial growth that they've had. They don't
Yeah,
get to enjoy it
It
whatsoever.
probably just evens out, right? Because if you've got a balanced work stress levels and all of that, then you have free time, but you can't do too much with it. But if you're making a whole bunch of money, you have no free time. You can't do too much about that either, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I wonder what the lives are of those people who will just like they Instagram a shampoo product or something, and then they get the paycheck and that's it. And their whole life is just going around like taking pictures of different products or going to different like, oh, we got sponsored to go to Coca-Cola's Australia like
Yeah.
water skiing event.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's their
true.
whole job. They just go there, they look like they're having fun, and they're done.
That'd be nice. Or that's like that's similar to the people who like do commercials. It's like a 1 day, 2 day shoot, and then the commercial just runs and they just sit back and collect their royalties.
Oh man, or people who write like Christmas songs, or I guess any type of song, but Christmas songs, those stay in rotation for like 500 years, right?
That's true.
Like the guy who wrote Silent Night is probably rolling in
He's
cash.
probably dead.
Well, that kind of money he doesn't need.
I was also just thinking that that would be like working smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could work hard and not get very far, but you could work smart and
And then you get the money
get
and the free
money
time.
and the happiness and the free time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's probably the best way. All right, so I guess working smart, what are your tips on doing that? How do you work hard but still have free time?
And
Hmm.
smart
Still have
about
time
it.
to have fun.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, can you refine the question or can you repeat it? I feel like I need to hear it again.
What do you do so that like we're all very busy people, we have a lot of stuff going on. What do you do so that you get all your work done, you do all your responsibilities, but you still have time to take for yourself, you can still work out, you can still go out, have fun, that sort of thing?
I feel like I'm gonna say that people, and I'm probably guilty of this too. People make themselves out to be busier than they really are,
Mm-hmm.
and I think when you talk about people not having time for themselves or their hobbies and stuff, part of it might be they're not putting those priorities and like getting them out of the way quick enough, or like the prioritization isn't there.
Yeah.
Because for myself, when I'm super busy, I go, okay, this time slot or this day, I'm gonna wake up and right away I'm gonna do this, this, and this. So when I get it out of the way and it's done, even though it's due like 2 weeks from now, down the line, I'm not stressed. I have time to do, this podcast and like spend time with whoever
Okay.
and all that. So my whole thing is, if you're focused enough and you can dial in and do the main priorities or jobs or tasks that you have that will have the biggest impact, then I feel like it'll free you up. And I think that's one of the points on one of the articles that we're going to look at here. Maybe you just pull that up right now.
For sure.
This is an article by Andy Swan. He's a contributor to Forbes, and I believe he's a co-founder of Likefolio, which provides investors and companies with actionable research based on data derived from consumer actions on social media.
So like a marketing company.
Yeah, I think they gather statistics on people's social media profiles, how they interact.
Okay, so he has 7 commandments, 7 work ethic commandments for an entrepreneur. And he says to get things done, get things done. So don't sit around planning things, actually just go do it, which is exactly what you were saying, right?
Exactly, right? And then he'll say they'll care when you actually get it done. And then he was saying how you can't just talk about things you're going to do because you could lose credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And then people lose faith in you when you say you're going to do certain things. And then this also, stop being busy.
That's rule number 2.
Yeah, so instead of being busy and thinking about everything that needs to be done, think instead about what accomplishments would have the greatest impact. Leverage is critical to your success as an entrepreneur, And the key to increasing leverage is focusing your energy on the things that will have the greatest positive impact.
Okay, so that's something I kind of do. So that's like, from what I'm pulling from this, it's, let's say you're in school, you're in university, you have a bunch of things due, and you have all these classes to go to. Is doing this assignment going to be more important than going to your classes for that day? If it is, if you get a better outcome out of it, don't force yourself to go to all the classes and stay up late doing the assignment. Focus on the assignment, skip the classes, right? Prioritize the thing that gives you the greatest impact.
Yeah, that's true. And I would agree completely with that. I mean, sometimes in terms of like skipping class and doing an assignment, it's kind of hard for me because then I just feel like I'm getting behind. But when you're comparing to like a small, like over this reading break, I have like a project due, and then I have to study for midterms, and then I had an assignment due like halfway during the week.
Yeah.
And I spent the first few days doing this project that wasn't due till like March 21st. And you definitely need to... Was that an ad?
I think that was an ad. That was a video ad.
You definitely need to... I needed to be like, okay, I just need to do what has the most priority right away. Like, what's the first due date that's coming up? And just work on that. I think the other one had another point at the bottom. Be available.
Be available.
So as an entrepreneur, try and make myself available at any time. I reply to emails and texts quickly, and try not to rule out any meetings based on time alone. I don't do this because I think it's important to reply to this email right away. It rarely is. I do it because I want people to think of me first when they need something or have an opportunity for me. So kind of like being reliable, being punctual. Like when someone hits you with an opportunity, don't take like 3 days to hand them back.
Yeah, makes sense. Works for probably a lot of things in life too, hey? And then we got a few more. We got one more rep, so just keep pushing out a bit extra work. Go to sleep with a plan, wake up with a purpose. Do you guys do that? Where you're about to go to sleep and then you think of all the stuff you have to do, and that's the only time in the day you think about that. You don't think about it in the morning.
Yeah, I'm that way where like I get super motivated. I plan my next day at night and I'm ready for all my stuff. And then I wake up the next morning and I'm just pissed off and
Yeah, no, I know.
Don't want to do anything.
I know how you feel. He says this one is self-explanatory, but few people do it. I feel like a lot of people do that just automatically.
Yeah, I have a what's good is those what's it called? The to-do list apps that you just keep a checklist of things that you have to do. And I don't necessarily have one for the next day, but I have one for things that are currently that need to be done, and I try and get those checked off. So I usually pick one or two. Like tomorrow I'm gonna bang those out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got an Excel worksheet of that, and it's all color coordinated and like arranged by priority.
Oh, goodness.
It just works very well.
You know what reminds me of? Like those Palm Pilots. Do you remember those?
I don't know if I was ever old enough to like for those to have an impact on me.
Oh, those, like, I didn't have one, but my dad had one, I'm pretty sure. And they were like people's like electronic day planners. And all the business people had a Palm Pilot.
Oh, yeah?
And it was like kind of the equivalent to like help everyone be super on task. I mean, this was before smartphones and stuff. So it was specifically like a scheduling day planner.
Like a portable secretary.
Yeah, essentially what it was.
Man, I feel like having a secretary would be so cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's your day. I've all of these people who texted you or called you. I sent a reply. You don't have to worry about any of that. You know, it's this person's birthday. I sent them a gift for you. Like all of that sort of stuff. It's just handled.
That's true. Like a lot of things. Oh, another ad.
Forbes.com.
Forbes just getting at us with all these ads.
Yeah.
I would love that though. What would you think the biggest perk for an assistant would be?
Probably the coffee.
The coffee.
Yeah, I like my coffee.
The little things.
The little things, you gotta enjoy the little things.
We should get a secretary for this podcast.
I would be.
Or like an intern, an aspiring like media student.
We should just make Tolu the assistant.
He's been demoted to intern.
Tolu loses his talking
assistant
rights.
Secretary.
Assistant secretary. Not even the main one.
No, he's an assistant.
He can work his way back up to the executive branch where we're at right now.
That's fair. We'll see what he says about that when he listens to this, when he's doing the post.
Oh no, he'll just like delete it. He won't even
This is all going to be cut
delete
out.
this out.
This
Nobody's
is-
ever going to hear us say
This is going to be on the lost tapes of the Startups podcast.
20 years from now, this is going to be unearthed somewhere.
It's going to come out of one of those time capsules in a park.
Is there like a? Do they still do that?
Yeah, time capsules. Yeah.
I saw one in I think it was Terwilliger in a
Okay.
gazebo. There was like a big time capsule. So to kind of contrast that article with your work ethic commandments, there's another one by a CEO and founder of Node, another kind of tech executive who has don't let your work ethic kill your startup. So when I was reading this earlier, she talks about how, the only thing that startups have on their larger competitors is they have to outwork them. They don't have as much resources, but the larger companies, they tend to move slower, and they usually have 4 or 5 people doing jobs that you have to do by yourself,
Yeah.
right? And so she talks about how her time in Silicon Valley, how you can't burn yourself out, and when you do hire all these people for their she calls them superpowers and their talents, you can't burn them out, and then they're not as effective as you'd want them to be.
Okay, so just be careful in working too hard, right?
Yeah, I think. And then she says, founders, you're not just hurting yourself and your startup with work heavy life, you're bringing down employees who look to you for guidance in the process. So if you accidentally set a devil's pace at your startup, here's how to start leading your team toward healthier and more productive days. So she talks about a rule is, after 5 o'clock, you don't reply to emails or calls work related. She says if it has Wi-Fi, shut it down. I don't know if I could do that.
Interesting, because that's the opposite of what that first article said, right? He said if anybody messages you, send it back.
Yes.
Don't like wait until the next morning. Do it right away.
I feel like we have to look at a comparison between Folio and Node and see who's more successful.
Yeah, let's look up the stock values of both those companies, and that's who we're gonna listen to here.
Put healthy habits on display. Oh, another ad. Good. Make no mistake, your team watches your routine. So if they see you skipping lunch to join a meeting, they'll do the same. I think that's like a lead by example, but if you're leading by the wrong example, why she's getting on that particular tip.
Yeah, it's like people feed off each other's energy, right? If you're around a bunch of people who are super productive and super they exercise all the time, then you're gonna be better than if you just around
I feel like we get that a lot with when we're all working on an assignment, let's say, and we need to go take you guys go climbing for an hour, or I go play squash or something. You need to break it up, because otherwise we get run down. And then there's this moments where somebody just sits back and just I don't care anymore.
They just snap. They're
dropping
gone.
this class or
Lost
whatever.
soul.
Or that was
I was a mutual friend of all of ours who just cracked a little bit during a particularly bad assignment.
And just walked right out of the lab.
Questioned his whole life, why he chose computer science.
Actually, that's happened a few times, hasn't it?
From him or just multiple people?
From a bunch of people.
Yeah, I've had that. I think my second year, I had a really bad lab.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, why the hell am I in this? I suck in it. And I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's definitely, I feel like if you don't question what you're doing at some point, you're not trying hard? No, I don't know. I feel like
you're a freak.
I feel like if you don't have one of those moments in your university career, you're probably in an easy program. I would say that's the safe bet.
Yeah, it's probably really easy to just burn out and just blow up and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen, we have a computer science lab room in a building on campus, and there's a stairwell outside each floor of that building. And if you look if you go into the stairwell outside the computer science lab room, there's this giant metal pipe, and it's got about 500 punching or like kick just dents in it from people who would just leave the lab room, smash up their hands on a pipe, and then go back in. And if you go to any other floor in the building without the computer science lab, perfectly clean pipe, like no damage, just that floor with the computer science. That's in Cab.
Really?
Yeah, if you go to the 3rd floor and look outside that stairwell, you will find like
I
just
want to
this
see
beaten
this.
up. I want to say I have a picture somewhere of this.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to see this. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's
And-
definitely draws on that one aspect of being a comp sci that we talked about with like temperament.
Mhm.
But I mean, everyone has their limit, and I would say you're more susceptible to having those meltdowns especially if you're working by yourself.
Yeah.
If you have no one to tether you, like keep you down, you're not gonna do well. There was a guy sitting next to us, Angus, wasn't there, who was like destroying his keyboard in that same lab room. Actually, it's a
Really?
high pressure room.
Yeah.
I think I was in 201 or 175, and I had a dude break down and start crying, like just grown ass adult
Really?
at this lab because it was so frustrating. And I'm not sure if I was stuck. Like I was doing okay,
Mhm.
but I don't think I was breezing through it. And I was like, man, like you gotta relax. Like it's not that hard. I've seen a couple people like smash like their hands on the counters and like around the lab machines, and like this one guy would just yell, "Damn it, God damn it!" like so loud, and I'd just be dying laughing behind him. Like it was hilarious. I couldn't even work.
Mhm. I guess it's kind of comforting if you're not the person who's breaking down, though, because you know, like you're not the only person that this is happening to. It's really easy to think everybody else is doing amazing.
Yeah,
I'm doing terrible at this, but everybody feels the same way you do.
that was that's the picture of the
All right,
pipe,
so this
eh?
is the pipe. Look how clean that is.
Okay.
Here's the other pipe.
Oh,
I wonder if we can post this picture on there, but
I don't see why not.
yeah, it's
That's hilarious.
I could totally see someone just giving it on the
going
pipe.
at it. Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to like set a little like covert GoPro there to see the next time someone goes and like loses their mind.
I wonder if there's money in that, like filming people just.
Should just get a punching bag and hang it up there.
Honestly, I don't know why the computer science building doesn't have more stress relieving things
Yeah.
like that.
They do need
I'd
that.
like a punching bag just to go just wail on it for.
Even
Every lab room, like get rid of the TA and just
just have a punching
each
bag.
TA should just walk around as they're helping people with those little pads on their hands to like catch your
Yes.
jabs.
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't even
get some
know what
help
they're
from them,
called.
you relieve some stress.
Active learning.
And then there's what about those? They're not punching bags. They're the UFC stands, and it's like a fake dude, and just have people slapping the crap out of him. Even you know what? All you gotta do is get a big tire
Mhm.
and a sledgehammer, and just let people go
Oh, yeah.
go to town.
Do you think there's money in mouses, but instead like computer mouses, but instead of the mouse, it's like a stress ball? It's a stress ball that you can click and move around your table, but it's like squishy.
I wonder if the integrity of the mouse would affect its performance. Like you'd be
Oh.
squeezing accidentally, you'd be clicking, and you wouldn't want to click.
Oh yeah, you don't want to squeeze on the buttons, right?
Yeah,
I wonder how you do that.
I don't know.
This is a business idea though.
Maybe you could just have the ball, like the stress ball, be like
Attached?
the part where your palm of your hand is,
Oh,
so
so part of your-
detachable, so
yeah,
you
so
can
you're-
like take it out and then squeeze it and stick it back in, like a
Okay.
little tray, and then that'd be cool.
Mm.
That's true. And you can help your arthritis at the same time.
Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel.
Oh yeah.
Well, they already have those.
The little gel things you rest your hand on, right?
Yeah, I've been like at first I wasn't a big fan of them,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm starting to feel like that might be a good idea after like a long time. And
There's so many like posture things I do that are probably just terribly stressful. Like I will sit. I'm gonna try and explain how I sit down 80% of the time in my life. So I sit down so that my back, and I can't even do this without, I gotta lean into this microphone here. So the edge of my butt is on the edge of the chair,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
and the top of my back is hitting the top of the back of the chair. So
Right.
I make like a triangle. I'm the hypotenuse of a triangle between the chair
You're fully
and me.
extended your legs.
And then you kind of you kind of tighten your core, but you keep it a little bit relaxed so that your whole body is kind of a straight line.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that's how I sit down, and I love it. And I don't think I should be doing that. Doesn't
I
seem
think I'm doing
healthy.
that right now.
You just let yourself go.
I'm letting myself fucking hang.
You just plop yourself down.
I started like 90 degrees and then I slouched into like a 45.
I like get like twisted sideways,
Oh,
and now I
okay.
have like this pain in my back, and I'm trying to like get back into just being upright or something.
Do you guys ever see those? Do you guys ever know those girls or sometimes guys who will like sit, but they'll like take off their shoes, take off their socks, and then their legs are like folded in some weird
Yeah.
arrangement on their chair?
I don't understand.
Like they're all
that.
contained in this little box, and that's it. Just looks really comfortable, but I could never.
I gotta do like one leg at a time.
Yeah.
Like I like alternate. I stick one in like a half of a crisscross applesauce.
Do you wanna? Would you like to demonstrate that? For
What
us?
is that?
A crisscross applesauce.
What's that?
It's a sit down method that I learned in like kindergarten, I guess. I don't know. You like
Okay.
cross. It's crisscross. You cross your legs.
Like this?
I
can't
I would
cross.
only cross one leg like underneath, and then I'd fold it underneath my leg.
Oh,
and
so
then,
that's the crisscross applesauce.
no. Well, like full crisscross would be like having both.
Okay, so
your-
this is just a side crisscross.
Yes,
like
this is like a
criss-
half.
Okay.
It's like
Oh,
a
and
half
then do you
criss.
put the other? Do you
No,
put
no,
your-
no, no, no. And this other one's just chilling down on the floor,
Okay.
and then you can switch it up. You know.
So Angus has one of his feet bent and tucked under the other leg, and the other leg is just sitting normally.
I've seen people do that, or like they go even farther and they're like sitting on their foot as it's
Oh, yeah.
underneath them.
That would
I
hurt.
just, even if I could cross my legs like that on a chair, I don't think I would want to work like that. I need to be in a working posture.
Yeah, this is like you're watching a movie. That's the
Yeah.
watching a movie, recording a podcast, play stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not analyzing algorithms in that position. Like, get real.
That's true.
I do really dislike the position though when like girls are. I haven't seen too many guys, but they like sit on their like their knees and shins like
They s-
upright.
Oh, they're kneeling.
Yeah, on the
and they're on a
the
chair, and it's like if someone pushes you, you're gonna fall on your face.
It just seems like uncomfortable for me. Maybe
Yeah.
my like knees are bonier than girl knees, but
I have
can't
no
stand it.
idea.
I wouldn't be able to sit like that.
Tread softly. The feminists might come after you, Peter.
I said girls or guys. I'm
Feminist guys,
Cover all your bases.
feminism.
All right, I'm gonna try sitting like that, and you know what? I'm gonna get back to you guys about 10 minutes from now.
You're too tall to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't fit on this chair properly.
Yeah, I don't think
That's the
that's.
chair I have at home. Because Jack broke my other chair.
So could you say, coming back to
By the way, I
balance,
lasted about 30 seconds in that position. I'm going back to normal.
coming back to the original topic,
Yes.
could you look back and say there's something that you either work or a hobby or play activity you wish that you spent less time doing or more time doing? Is there something that like sticks out to you that's like, oh, I wish I did more of this or less of this?
All right, well, I've got one that's kind of controversial, especially given the audience in this room. I feel like video games are probably one of the most unproductive things you can do. Not that that's bad, and not that they're not good for de-stressing,
Yeah,
but like,
they are unproductive.
let's say you play a guitar or something. And again, I don't play guitar in my free time. I watch TV shows. So I'm no better than anybody who plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll throw in Netflix on there.
Yeah.
But any of that sort of stuff, like you're relaxing and it's great, but you don't get anything out of it in the end.
What would you rather
Like-
have replaced?
Like, let's say I go to the gym more often instead of, then, you know, you're de-stressed and all of that, and you get something out of it. You're healthier, you look better, all of that sort of stuff.
That makes sense. Is there something? So you would say, you know, the Netflix kind of
Like
video game stuff.
Consuming media, I'd call it, I guess.
Yes. So less of that and more of like
Real-
physical activity.
Honestly, like anything that you kind of get something out of it at the end. Like Tolu, when he's not working, he does music. He produces music and all of that.
Hmm.
And it's a hobby and it relaxes him. But he now has music coming out of the other side and he's better at it and all of that sort of stuff.
That's true. He's producing something with it, I
Mhm.
suppose. What about you, Angus?
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of with Pete on this. I don't know. Like Netflix, like it wastes your time, but like I like doing it, so I can't really. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely like effective if you want to relax and you're
Yeah.
tired and stuff. It's amazing.
I'm gonna say I don't regret my countless hours of video games,
Okay.
but I will say I don't regret them because I should kind of lay down a reasoning for this because it kind of laid the foundation for my interest in comp sci,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
fair enough.
kind of why I'm here. Um, but I do wish I downplayed those days of just going to hang out with friends that I'm not even remotely friends with anymore, and basically wasted my time drinking or partying and all that, and put more effort into school.
Okay.
I would say school and other personal interests, like anything you said, like playing music. Like I used to play the guitar, but I didn't put enough time and practice into it
Mhm.
to, hone it and make it the skill that I wanted it to be.
Okay.
So I feel like, and then maybe that plays into why I saw like music festivals and concerts and going to the bar earlier as such a waste of time because, that's what I wish I did less of during high school.
See, I don't regret that sort of stuff. I don't regret going out with people who maybe I'll never see them again or not. But I enjoy that stuff. I'm all about like that kind of experience.
Interaction.
Yeah, like I've never had a time where someone said, "Hey, do you want to go out or do you want to do this thing?"
Hmm.
I've never had a time where I've said yes and regretted it.
Right.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say I'd like to take it all away,
Hmm.
but I wish I spent less time doing that and more time prioritizing school.
Fair
And
enough.
probably we say different things because you have a lot better marks than me. So that's probably where it stems
Well, I
from.
don't know about that.
I would say so.
I got
No Mark talking in this podcast.
Absolutely not. But I can
got
say with confidence that you had better marks coming out of high school than I did.
Well, I think I had some strategies that I use so that I
Yeah.
can have my cake and also eat it. Like one thing I'll do is I go to Costco, you buy bulk meat,
Hmm.
and then you just take 6 hours one day, cook it all, and then make about a month's worth of pre-made meals. And then so you get like 400 grams of extra lean turkey.
Yeah.
You get some spaghetti, you get some veggies, freeze it, put it in your freezer. And that's like, and then every night you just have dinner for 10 minutes, microwave it, and then eat it. And that saves you about like 30 minutes a day cooking, and then add that all up. And I can go out on the weekend and it balances out, right?
But those are also like things you'll learn when you live on your own.
That's true.
So but they are viable for sure. Like doing things in a certain way that saves you time so you can have time for yourself. I guess that kind of skims back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that definitely, using your time valuably.
Yeah.
I guess would totally be, and also I guess coming back to how you were saying you do things a certain way. I didn't really even know how to study properly till like my second or third year of university.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took a long time to like really figure it out.
Yeah, same. That's something that like I feel like is a big problem for people. Like the people who say like they read through the notes for hours and hours, but they don't actually get anywhere with it because that's not how they learn.
Hmm.
That's real important to figure out, right?
Yeah, I think because I was kind of a more, I guess, math oriented. I the only th- It was easy for me to study because it was just you just do practice problems.
Mm-hmm.
It was easy. So it was easy for me to study those. So maybe that's why I was stronger in those kind of, science, math. You just do practice problems.
Yeah.
And so that's what helped me with compute. I redid labs, like all that kind of jazz. But things like, social studies and language arts and stuff, I had troubles with because I just I don't know, I'll write definitions and whatever.
Yeah, that actually reminds me that there's something I would have done before if I had a chance. It would be to learn computing stuff before university.
Yes.
Because I didn't know any of this existed. I had no idea how this worked. I thought it was just, I don't know. I had no idea. You can't really tell what it is from the outside, right?
It's true. Like I knew there was something called code.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what it looked like or how it's structured, but I knew that was something.
Everyone liked being called a hacker back in the day.
Yeah.
No one really knew what
It is-
Well,
hacking is.
I still don't know what hacking is really.
It's such a
I found that
vague way of saying like of doing illegal things with the internet and like code basically. Like there's not one definitive answer. Like there's no like certain way of, it's like a cheat or a hack. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So were you gonna?
Oh, I've always heard, every time I've heard somebody say the word hacking, aside from like hackathon or something, they've always mentioned it as just kind of sloppily throwing something together. I'm just hacking a solution together.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not some super
It's
precise.
the fast way.
Yeah, it's just quick and dirty. Like,
I've never heard
Illegal.
it used like that.
oh yeah.
When I well, I guess actual hacking, a lot of people don't understand. You don't just like, okay, I'm gonna type a bunch of stuff into a terminal and like weasel my way into this person's computer.
Mm-hmm.
There's like related to, you know, Tor browser and stuff, that like the darknet and the full internet, the one that most people will never ever see in their lifetime, just because they don't really know about it. It's not like it's that hard to access, but it's like another layer of the internet that has like black market websites and like all a bunch of crazy stuff that you can access through an internet browser called Tor browser. But anyway, there is hacker groups out there that sell malware and spyware, I think maybe.
Interesting.
Hacktivists.
Yeah, well, not hacktivist, but these are actual organizations that make this kind of software for hacking,
Okay.
and then they sell it to people that want to use it, and then they deploy it somehow. Again, I have no idea how, and then it does kind of the whole hacking junk for them. So it's kind of like a piece of software that like weasels its way through your system, just like when you install Instagram, like, can we access your photos? Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
right? It's like the same thing, but it doesn't ask. It just does it, and it takes it, and then it sends it somewhere that it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be maybe a good snapshot of what hacking
might
kind
be.
of is.
Have you guys noticed that every time there's a news story or an article about hacking or computer danger and that sort of stuff, it's always the same type of picture. It's fingers on a keyboard in a really dark room and the computer's shining like this blue light. All the lights are turned off.
Guy's
This
got
guy
a
just
black
has-
hoodie.
Yeah,
he's
and then it's like-
crushing keys.
Yeah, it's
It's true.
not
It's
how
such
I
a.
program.
I know they have to make it.
Looks scary.
Yeah, they have to demonize it or criminalize
Like,
it in some way.
I
Like,
assume the guy's just in like soft lighting. There's some plants nearby, right? Like a modern building.
and I'm pretty sure he's not typing a bunch of stuff. Like, he just has to deploy this piece of software that he bought.
It doesn't have like a balaclava on and like
No,
like a bandana and stuff.
no, that's true. Well, that was kind of like that movie, Black Hat. With did you see
I
that?
haven't seen it.
It was with, who's the guy that plays Thor? What's his name?
Chris
Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth.
So he was in this movie Black Hat, and he was like some crazy hacker
Oh yeah.
that and I guess Black Hat is it's a hacking term, like it's actually like a technology term.
Yeah.
But he like played this hacker in this movie, and it was, you know, I don't know much about hacking, but I knew a little bit, and I was already in comp sci. So just watching this movie was like kind of cringe because it was just so off. Like it was just so far fetched, and I was like, you're just perpetuating just a deeper misunderstanding of hacking computers to people, because some people are gonna watch that movie and take it as the Bible, be like, oh, that's how it works. I don't think that's completely indicative at all, and it's super misleading. I mean, not that people need to know like of hacking and like all that, but to some extent you have to know to protect yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't use the same password for every device you own. That's like
I may or may not do that. I'll
Yeah.
like
Everyone does that.
tweak little things about it, but I'm not a.
Even like I don't know, just if you're downloading a music file, if it says it's a gigabyte large, that's probably
Probably
not a
not.
music file.
No.
Like,
probably
don't.
either a music video or a lot something else.
Yeah, like file sizes, what else? Even just like looking at sites, if a site has like a lot of weird ads and pop-ups, it's probably not a very reputable, trustworthy site.
If your bank ever texts you, it's not your bank. It doesn't work that way.
I get a couple emails.
I've noticed recently a bunch of people have been getting like, "Hey, AT&T like user, please, your account's in jeopardy. Please reply back," and that sort of stuff.
I got that for Scotiabank, and I'm not even with Scotiabank.
I've got it from like 3 different banks.
I think they just pepper you with them until they get the right bank, and maybe you get suckered in.
I mean, all it takes is like one really old person.
I'm telling you, it's the old people that get.
Yeah.
Not even,
They
man.
get
I got
targeted.
scammed.
Did you? Tell us about it.
Okay, so this last summer, I was trying to make some money, so I was like, hey, I'm going to sell my Xbox 360 and all my games and stuff on Kijiji.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy contacts me, and he goes, oh, like he's going to buy it. And
Yeah.
I go, okay. And he goes, but I'm getting it for my daughter. And I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So he says he's going to send it, if I can mail it to her, and he'll e-transfer me.
Oh,
Mistake number 1.
yeah.
So I go, all right. I guess so. And he said he'd pay for shipping. So I was like, perfect, like $310. This is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Make a lot of money. So I go to he sends me this email, and it looks so legit because I'm not completely like oblivious to like how like scams and stuff like that. Like I've seen them,
Yeah.
and I know a fair bit about computers. So he sends me this email, which is an Interact e-transfer email. Looks completely legit,
Okay.
and it has to do with Canada Post. So you put in the tracking number of the package you just sent, so it can confirm that you sent it, so the money can come through. So like they've already sent it to you, but it's on hold, so you put in the tracking number.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I was
So
just thinking that seems like something.
it seems legit, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they provide this service. So I go to the bottom of the email and I look at all the copyright stuff and all the names, and I'm like, all right, let me try and match things up. So I go to the Interact e-transfer website, same copyright, like all these little details, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this must be a thing. So yeah, I go to this place and I like sent out this package, replied to the email with the tracking number. Didn't get the money through, didn't come in for like a little bit.
Mhm.
So I ended up going back. I was like, I'm just gonna stop the package, and I got there at 5:30,
Okay.
and the truck comes at 5
Hmm.
to take all the packages out.
Yes.
So I had to basically file a report with this like Canadian fraud agency, and then they had to contact like US Customs, and they had to intercept the package, and then I had to like talk to this customs agent that was specifically for like intercepting stuff from like scams, and then he sent me back all my stuff, and even
that's
some of my
good.
stuff was missing.
Oh yeah.
I was confused because like, what if they intercepted it? Shouldn't all my stuff be there? Like some guys open it up, be like, "Oh, sick video games," and like take a controller, and like a bunch of stuff was missing. But I was like, well, at least I got some of it back, so
Mhm.
I can't complain. But yeah, man, internet, it was it can happen to anyone, definitely. And even if you're super meticulous about looking at all the details, like I was, you can still. I mean, people are smart; they can replicate all that. So. I mean, with Kijiji, I do strictly cash now.
Strictly cash, meet in person, and
Yeah,
then that's
absolutely.
it. No, like, oh, by the way, actually, I can't make it. Why don't you come to this address instead? And, like,
Yeah, exactly. That was my internet scam experience, and it sucked because you just like, because what if I didn't get back? That was like I think I had it priced at $250 stuff to
Mhm.
just see you later. Like, not getting that back.
I don't know if I ever got scammed before. Trying to think.
Or even close.
I don't think I've ever like properly fell for a scam.
Or
Scam.
put yourself vulnerable, because when you do Kijiji and stuff like that, like you're susceptible to.
I've had a few like red flags, but I just never took them up, never answered them, that sort of stuff.
Definitely helps to be cautious.
Yeah, you can't be like overly worried about that sort of stuff.
I do a lot of Kijiji. Well, it's kind of in like spurts, but I do a lot of Kijiji sales.
Oh yeah.
I like wheeling and dealing. I like making, you have some things kicking around, because I don't like. I used to be kind of a hoarder. Like I would keep things around and like large collections of things that were just unnecessary, and then
Yeah.
I got out of that habit and I just started selling stuff that I don't need, and I don't like clutter.
I can get behind you on that.
I would say so. So why don't we
We can circle back to our last question here.
Do
Or
we
the
have a
same
last question?
we started that we never really talked
Oh.
too much on. Do people our generation, do they work too much? Do they play too much?
do they take too long to become ambitious?
That's
What would you say?
I think ambition is pretty like muddled down nowadays. Just with all this new stuff, people are putting their like they're spending too much time on things that are never going to get them anywhere. Like their Instagram, people buy followers,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, like it's pretty sad nowadays how bad people need attention from other people. People take pictures like at concerts and like don't even enjoy the actual moment of being at the concert.
that I don't understand at all.
I do not ever take videos at concerts. I just enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't
never.
care if anyone knows if I was there or
Well,
not.
It's like take a picture with all your buddies,
Which
but,
is fine.
But don't sit there with the video
The whole time.
of
Yeah,
your
no, you
Snapchat
can-
story is 10 minutes long tonight because you were too busy just videotaping it and not actually
Yeah, like
watching.
remember the event, take the pictures of you and the people you came with,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't need to record his song there. You can go home, type in like your city and then that concert, and you'll find 50 other videos from everybody else who probably have better seats than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better quality too.
You
Yeah,
don't
maybe.
need to, and then you're missing out on everything. Like
But you really don't feel like you are. That's the bad thing.
you don't feel like you're missing out.
Well, like I could
do.
talk to people and they'd be like, "No, that's fine. Like I wanted that to happen. Like I like take." But it's like, no.
I feel like they just need to.
They're
if only you
blind.
could take them and they could do their phone thing like you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And then you take them back to the same concert and be like, "Okay, put away your phone." I feel like they'd come away that second time and be like, "That was way better.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
fully immersed in it. Like I
Mhm.
was taking it all in. Like it's so much more." Because I remember I went to a concert like way back. I think I was in grade 9, and yeah, I took like videos and stuff, and
Mhm.
like 10 minutes in, I was like, "Screw this! Like I'm trying to watch this thing, not trying to like look through a screen."
I think-
It was a crappy flip Motorola phone too.
The
It wasn't
first
even-
concert I ever went to, and this is, I just want to preface that I grew up in Fort McMurray, so we didn't get like good musicians there, but it was Down with Webster, which is like a Canadian,
I don't even know.
I don't even know what, I guess rock pop band,
Canadian rock.
Okay.
something like that.
Don't they have their own stadium there now? That they have
Yes, they have
concerts?
they have a new one.
Yeah.
But this was before that, and
Okay.
I went to their first one, and that was the one and only time I recorded a concert. And then I was on the way home, like you can't hear anything. The sound is all
Hmm.
like it's just constantly popping because your phone isn't prepared to handle that sort of stuff, and it's all blurry and jumping and that sort
Yeah.
of thing, and it's too dark to see anything.
It's like, what are you
Yeah.
capturing?
Even
really?
if you want to record, you're not getting anything good out of it at the end.
No.
Yeah, that's true. I would say that there's a lot of people our age that are fall into that trap of just having major priority on like attention and their social media and stuff. That's kind
Yeah.
of why I try not to I don't get wrapped up in that. Like I've been on and off Instagram like a fair amount of times because I just can't stand like having to check. Like you want to
Yeah.
because you have it, so like but I tried to keep to I just had Facebook for the longest time.
Hmm.
But I mean, especially now with this podcast, there's certain marketing things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's almost inescapable at this point.
And like I don't want to give the impression that I'm better than anybody. Like through this podcast, I've checked my texts about 5 times. But like I've been on some people's Facebook profiles, and then you can share the articles and pictures and videos, and they've like 4-hour period, they've got like 25 articles on there that they've shared. And like how are you doing that?
People overuse Facebook. I would say people overuse social media. I would say Facebook might be the worst,
Yeah.
because when you're talking about Instagram, let's say, you know, you have to like crush like 5 posts in an hour. You better be do something really cool
Yeah.
or be super creative. Whereas Facebook, you don't have to be either of those. You could just pull shit from other
You
people
just fire
and
all
fire
over
it
the
off through yours,
Or just
right?
send a really long rant.
Oh God, I can't.
I kind of
can't.
like those though.
I
That's,
hate those.
I like it when they try to like entice you with like a prologue of like careful, like warning, reading this is a lot to take in, so buckle up because you've already read this far, you might as well finish the rant.
Oh my God, yeah, I can't stand that. I feel like my Facebook friends list is like a tight list. Like I do a purge every couple years,
Oh yeah.
because like if someone makes just too many stupid posts or like shit I don't want to see or don't care to, just snip. See you later.
Yeah, there's definitely a period, maybe about a year ago, where I barely used Facebook because, like, I would use Messenger, I would use groups, events, but I wouldn't just look at the Facebook feed because mine was just full of the articles and full of the pictures and like here's a chopping board and this guy's like making macaroni casserole or something,
Yeah.
and then here's a cat on a, and then I never got to see the status updates. I couldn't find people's like pictures they uploaded. I couldn't find any of it. It was just buried under 5 pages of, you won't believe what like Justin Trudeau did last week or something.
Yeah, it's true. Facebook is just, if you go to your Facebook, like the feed, and just look at it now, just count how many ads are on there.
Or how many videos? Like, just I wish they'd like filter a video section because I like to like read in the morning. I don't know. Like, I feel like I find the videos really like annoying because they'll play sometimes if you don't have your headphones in.
All right, so we're on my Facebook feed right now. We're gonna just completely break on a tangent, and so
I see 3 already.
yeah. So
And
there's
you haven't
a
even scrolled.
ad for, yeah. I'm still on the homepage. There's an ad for a college. Keep in mind, I have ad block on right now, so this
Oh,
isn't
shit.
even. These are just the ads that have somehow managed to get through, anyways.
They're embedded in Facebook, so you can't really do anything about them, which I'm sure is not accidental.
And then here's some more stuff. And then here's a bunch of like puppies on the ground, which
Like,
I guess is fine, but I don't
Yeah.
like. I don't want to see what this person is sharing. I want to see what she's posting, like on
Okay.
her status or something. You know?
See, what I would say is, I don't mind it if they're sharing it. I don't want to see your friend such and such liked this video.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I'd say, well, for me, even sharing, like, I don't need to see that. Like this is a picture somebody uploaded.
Yeah.
This is what I like.
Yeah.
This is an ad for Peel.
A suggested post, aka an ad.
Yeah, we're
Don't be
6
fooled.
posts in, and we've already seen 2 ads and 3.
Forced.
Sorry.
And those 2
Forced
ads
ads,
on those 2 ads on the side changed.
Yeah, and then 2 more ads just refreshed on the right hand side, and then here's another video of a guy drawing lines on a sheet of paper. Like, it's not the best. I'd just like to see.
Compared to the first like versions of Facebook
Right.
that I remember,
Oh, I
it was
remember
so
that
much
was
nicer.
nice.
I'm sure I wonder if you could find that, like a picture of Facebook when it first released and Facebook now, how much the interface has changed and become so complex and cluttered, because this relates to, what was it? Innovator's Dilemma, which is basically, developers will make a program or a piece of software, and when they'll launch, they'll have their users. And then over time, that software kind of evolves and becomes more sophisticated, and those users in turn become more sophisticated and evolve with it. They know and understand it from every level. They've been there since day one. And then you have new users that come in that come in and they don't like it because it's too overwhelming. It's not accessible for them. And I feel like you think there's people out there that are like that for Facebook. Like there's just too much shit going on there. They're just like, nope, like can't do it. I feel like that's possible. So this is we're looking at a picture of one of the first images or feedbacks.
This is like what, 2008 Facebook, 2010?
Because it came out. I remember getting it in like 2008.
I got in like 7th or 8th grade, and they were like,
I got it around the
they were
same
like,
time.
Why do you have Facebook? You're in 7th grade, but now it's like, why are you in 5th grade? You have Facebook.
So look at that. There's newsfeed. He has a friend that uploaded a photo. It doesn't even show it big. It's just a little thumbnail, and you can see it if you want. Just has people's activities and no videos. There's friend requests, group invitations, messages.
It's so simple. It's everything I want to see, right? You want to see what they're doing, what's going on in their lives.
They should have an option to revert your UI back to the original Facebook.
100%, they can totally do that, but they make their money from all those ads, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
All those videos of like, sponsored by this Tony Roma's steak sauce on this like burger. They got to have those on there.
That's quite the ambitious undertaking for someone to do in college, to make Facebook.
Oh yeah,
that's insane. I don't know. I feel like even like this podcast, it's good that even though it's not like a crazy big thing,
you're trying.
You need to say that you've tried to do something.
Yeah.
And you haven't just talked about it. And I do feel like people our age aren't ambitious enough early enough. I wouldn't say people aren't ambitious. They just don't try and...
Or they're ambitious around the wrong things.
Yeah, or they think they're unqualified and they don't know anything, so they can't do it.
But then that's another thing, like 50 years ago, none of this stuff was here. It was probably way harder to start a business like that.
True, you didn't have.
You'd have to be probably already rich a little bit.
You just couldn't be afraid of making mistakes, basically.
Yeah,
everything was pretty uncharted.
It is a lot easier now to just get started, get a business going, get all of that happening than it ever was before, and maybe people aren't used to that.
That's true. I think that, like, even when we started this, what we do? Google how to start a podcast, Life Hacker, WikiHow. And here we are. So it's definitely, you just type it in. Just type it in, press enter.
I was going to say, you remember we were watching that Bar Rescue.
Oh, no.
And it's like, how did these people have a bar license? Like, how did they have their own, like, these people need help, like.
So bad.
So what did they do?
I mean, they'd be in like $50,000 to $125,000 in debt. Just like couldn't pay the electricity bill of their bar because they just didn't know how to run an operation that they have. Like it's actually mind-blowing how many people have a business that really shouldn't have a business.
Yeah. Besides like the like health protocols and stuff like that, like besides the cleanliness part, which was almost always bad, like just the infrastructure of how to run a bar was like just out the window. It's like they were just winging it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't put any research into figuring out how to do it or whatsoever.
Right. Money into the right ways. Like I feel like now like technology is really a part of business and you need to have the newest equipment for touchscreen iPads.
Remember what they did in that show? They were using like pencil and paper and they gave them those touchscreen stations for the waitresses.
The POS systems?
Yes. So I think but if you also want to look at the age demographic that was on that show,
it was older,
right? So
people.
they don't understand that you can just Google it. It'll tell you how. Like obviously what you're doing isn't working. Like there's resources. There's a resource out there that connects to all of the resources
and will help you.
Yeah. But don't use Google, use DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
Use DuckDuckGo.
Won't track you.
This episode's brought to you.
Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Advocating internet privacy.
Yeah.
Internet privacy.
Yeah, we want privacy. We don't want to be watched all the time.
I feel like that's another good topic for an episode.
Privacy.
We should watch documentary on Netflix. Yes, we're going to suck more time into that.
Okay.
But we're getting something out of it this
time.
time.
We're learning from it.
It's called Terms and Conditions, and it's about internet privacy. They
Okay.
talk to people who made the guys who started YouTube, Google. It's really interesting. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it. I mean, everyone's on the internet these days. If you're going to be on there, which everyone is, you should definitely watch this documentary so you're just aware of things that are out there, like you're being tracked, all your metadata, and they can map where you are. I mean, that falls into more Citizen 4, and
Yeah, that's also
that's also a good one.
There's
That's
some
a
like
good one.
there's some sketchy stuff out there for tracking, isn't there?
Oh, you don't even, well, I don't even know. Like, I mean,
we're coming into
It's-
the VR age, so the
Have you
privacy
seen,
terms should definitely be rewritten.
oh yeah. Have you seen Citizen 4 and the Snowden story?
I know it
Edward
exists, and it's
Snowden.
on my. I'm pretty sure it's actually on my bookmarks here of something I need to watch.
We can also promote www.streamlord.com
Oh, we can.
coming at you with great
Not
high
that I ever
definition videos.
watch it, but
Streamlord?
there exists a thing if you want to
Citizen
break
4
the
is on
law.
it too.
Oh, Citizen 4.
Yeah.
That I don't ever break the law.
Okay,
No,
so
right,
we're
I
gonna
don't-
dive into that. I say we save this
Mhm.
for another
For another
episode. So if you're listening to this, Terms and Conditions documentary on Netflix. I think it's still on there. I don't know if Citizen 4. I think Citizen 4 is on there now.
On what?
Netflix. I'm pretty sure I saw it.
I don't know. Maybe on American. Maybe I don't think Canadian.
Either way, you can just stream it from what's
Any
that?
legal website
Streamlord?
you can obtain it.
Yeah,
You
you
just know the www.streamlord.com. But
and Megashare, I believe. Putlocker is good too.
Yeah.
If you want to stream stuff.
I
So
feel like
Terms
they-
and Conditions.
Didn't they shut those down?
No.
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 Putlocker. Oh yeah, GorillaVid. Those are good ones. So if you want to see Terms and Conditions, Citizen 4, and also Hacktivist, which is one on Netflix, which is kind of dealing with those hackers and people who fight for internet privacy and advocate for that stuff. That's also on Netflix. So Terms and Conditions and Hacktivist are on there. So if you kind of want to dive into this and kind of figure out what we're talking about and get our perspective, I would definitely go watch those. But I think we will come back to that, and maybe we'll save that for a topic for another episode.
All right, so our final tips then, balancing work and play life. What do we do? Less Facebook, less media consumption?
Yes, I would say less media consumption and replace it with either something productive. Like, it doesn't have to be replacing something work related. Like, replace it, like you said, go to the gym more. Something that you're prospering from, that's productive, that's going to help you somehow.
Yeah, I say anything you get something out of it.
Yeah, even if you don't, something that involves human interaction, like go hang out with your friends or something like that.
Well,
right?
you get something out of that, right? You
That's
build your
true.
social skills, and then next time when you're like networking with somebody, I don't know, maybe you're funnier than you were if you never went outside or something like that. And then maybe you get a job that you wouldn't have gotten before.
People don't just get funnier though. You're either funny or you're not.
I don't know about that. I feel like you can be funny,
Mm,
but I feel like that's a whole debate, isn't it? If you're just
Yeah.
born funny, or you.
who determines how funny you are?
That's true. Well, I don't know. Watch a lot of stand-up specials. Steal
Yeah.
their jokes.
Dude, I've gotten really into stand up, like not just watching it, but like the art of it. And I like hearing like guys like Joe Rogan and them when they talk on his podcast and like how they come about making jokes and all that. I think it's super interesting.
I respect the hell out of it, because how
Yeah.
many years do you have to spend bombing on stage before you even get like slightly good at it, right?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Like it's the most embarrassing night of your life every single night
For sure.
for who knows how
Oh,
long.
that would be nerve-wracking to do something like that.
Mhm.
Like that it really is an art form, to be honest. And I always wish, I think I wrote down, I didn't write it down. I think I had another comedy bit. I've made like 3 or 4
Oh yeah.
in my head, and I just never write them down. And I should start writing them down. But I think we'll cut it off there.
Mhm.
And even though Tolu isn't here in post-production, he'll put on our outro song. This week we have a Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar type beat called Shade, produced by Simba, which is one of the guys over at Ebb and Flow that put music up on there. It's a conglomerate of guys that throw out music on there. So you can follow them on YouTube. They have a channel there for all their instrumental beats, so they're really good for studying. You just want something in the background, maybe to mull out the noise of people around you. So if you want to go hit up them, Ebb and Flow on YouTube. I think they're on SoundCloud as well. So we'll have that song for the outro here. Probably going to start playing with my voice soon when he does post-production. And if you have any comments or want to get in contact with us or
Concerns
concerns,
any scammers out there?
scams, share
our-
your internet scam stories with us.
Oh, I wasn't
Love
even
that.
thinking that. Like, if it's RBC who's listening right now, and you want to send me a quick text, let me know if my count's doing okay. Just send it to our email address.
At the startupspodcast@gmail.com. Send us your internet scam close calls, or if you have been scammed.
Yeah, sign up for one of those like spam websites. Put the startupspodcast@gmail.com on there.
Our internet our inbox for our email has been quite slim. I'm waiting for all
little
these
dusty.
to flow
For
in.
the listeners at home, Brandon Best is making water treading movements with his hands.
Absolutely, I'm just ready to dive in. I'm eagerly waiting.
Swimming through the emails.
They're not going to be thrown into the depths of our inbox, and we're going to ignore them. We're going to interact with our viewers. I'm very
Don't you
excited
worry,
to
we
read
will
them.
cherish every single email we get. We will
Absolutely.
handwrite and mail back a response to anybody who sends us an email.
I will say this.
Yeah?
I will respond personally, or have one of us respond personally to every email that we get that is a response to something I say on the podcast.
Will you respond electronically or like
Yeah, like
just
I'll
a
reply.
quick snap or
No, I'll reply as an email. So, if I say, hey, share me your internet scam story, I will hit him with a quick response.
Hit
Be
him with
like,
the shout
"Oh."
out.
I will.
you'll
Because
plug them?
we're going to read them on the podcast
Oh, we will.
on the
won't we?
next episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for
Good
joining
job.
us.
Work and play.